good afternoon, and welcome to SAVE, a show brought to you today by Citizens Against Family Violence with Jess and
Debbie.
Now we are back. Over the last couple weeks, we've been extremely busy preparing for the holidays, as this is a very busy time for our agency.
It is.
Now, last time we were here, Deb and myself, we were discussing how domestic violence crimes are at a rise now during the holidays, when unfortunately, you would think this is the time that people come together and support each other and, enjoy the holidays and bring happiness to one another. But unfortunately, we know that this is definitely a problem in our community with this not being a happy time in some families, and this time of the year brings a lot of bad things for some people in their homes. So, even though, Deb, I know we discussed this last show and we went in a lot of depth about that, is there any new evidence that you might like to discuss or share with the community to help validate the fact that this crime is rising during this time?
Yes, I mean, like you said, we've been doing a whole lot right now for this time of the year. We have things going on within the house of the agency itself. It's kind of kept us busy while we weren't here. Just a lot just in our community in general. The court dockets have
rise.
Yeah, a whole lot, considerably.
Went from 3 pages to 5 or 6.
Exactly, and that plays a big part of that. We see those numbers fluctuating like that. We know something's definitely going on, and it's a hard time for a lot of people. Their suppressed memories come back, and children have to deal with it. What are we going to get, not going to get? You've got kids younger these days are saying things like, well, there's no Santa, and that's because parents are just at their wits' end. They don't know what to do. They don't have the resources. There is chaos in the house.
A lot of tension.
A lot of tensions, so that all leads to a whole big part of that, domestic violence. Where do we go from here? And there is a lot of evidence out there now that we were just recently talking about showing the increase of domestic violence. I was actually reading a report from Northern Virginia, and we get all our information gathered from the whole region, like different areas. The DCJS, which is the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice System, they have a lot of statistics and data we can get information from. And what they tell us there is that in the Alexandria, Virginia, crime for domestic violence it was 321%, and it rose to 665.
That's like
cases.
Triple, double.
Yes, definitely. And that was just in that time period alone, from 2006 up to 2010. And you have to think about how those numbers have really doubled and skyrocketed. So why is that? Of course, in between those time frames, you have what? Holidays.
Right.
So, of course, during the holidays, those numbers are definitely going to go up. You're going to see more of that going on. And we just need to figure out what we can do to help those who are in crisis during those times.
I know during that report I read that there was like a 35% increase during just Christmas alone. And
Christmas alone,
I think it was like 28 or 25% during Thanksgiving. But Christmas, that's definitely a time you think everybody's happy and excited about Christmas.
Right. In theory, they are. They really are. Even the ones who have things going on in the home, they want to be happy. They don't want to remember all that stuff. They don't want mom or dad coming in and something's going to escalate and the kids have to go hide in the room. They don't want that. But however, when you're dealing with situations that you have not dealt with, your own past or your present, and you have anger issues going on, and then, like I said, bills are hitting you on every corner, and the kids are wanting this and that, and it's a competitive world. Our kids go to school with other kids who have iPods and things like that that they can't get. That creates another problem. Mom and dad want them to have it. They don't have the resources to get it. They don't know the way to talk to them about not being able to afford it. It creates
tension.
Creates tension.
This problem we're talking about, domestic violence.
And domestic violence just doesn't mean adults. It happens to the children in the home too. Extended family members in the home, pets in the home. It just goes on. Even in Roanoke, the Roanoke Police Department was telling us how crime as a whole has gone down.
Wow.
But domestic violence has gone up.
And that's bad, because Virginia has, we have a high crime rate.
A very high crime rate.
Especially in Martinsville.
Exactly, for our area alone. So when we look at those numbers, it's almost like, wow, what is happening? Are we not reaching everybody? Are they, just afraid to come out and tell us still? Are we putting enough information out there for our neighbors who might hear something going on but are afraid to call and reach out and give those people help? And that's a hard thing to do, Jesse. Think about it. Your neighbors for years. You guys are good friends. You have the cookout and pool parties, and then one night something happens.
Right.
Do I step in? Do I say anything? Maybe they'll work it out. But what are our roles? As citizens, how far do we let it go before we say something like, "Hey, you guys, are you all right?"
Right. That's a big question. Is it really increasing, or are people just stepping forward now?
Right. Exactly.
That's iffy. You don't really know. There might be reasons why some people are reporting, and hopefully it is because information is going out there.
Right.
But
there's no statistics for that, as far as we don't gather and go and ask names like, did you report your neighbor?
Right.
We don't want that to be the thing like, hey, I played hero and call today. We do want people to help when they think that there's a situation, and that just becomes, being a good neighbor You know, if you see the kids and they're not looking right, they're constantly crying, mom or dad are constantly looking at a disarray, something's going on, just ask them first. You don't have to call the cops right away, but,
Right.
you know,
See what's
hey,
going on in the
yeah, Judy,
situation.
are you okay? Are things all right? You know, I'm worried about you. You're just concerned. Not to be nosy, not to pry, but just because you have a genuine concern about their safety and
Right.
what they may be going through. But then again, when we do that, we have to be ready with the resources and the tools to tell them where to go to get the help.
Right, exactly.
So, because once they open that door and you say, you know, is something wrong, and they say yes, what do? You know, that's that moment like, oh my God, I didn't think she was going to say yes, and she
Right.
did, you know,
So what do
something
I
is
do now?
wrong.
Right.
Now what do I do? Because I don't want Fred, the husband, mad at me or her mad at me thinking I'm just butting in. But, you know, I do see there's something
I
going
think
on.
TV ruins a lot of that for people too, because you know I know I watch a lot of TV. So TV kind of messed up my mind too. So it
Well,
does.
it does.
though.
We get jaded ideas of what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. You know,
Right.
or who do we call or not call? Do you call the off-duty officer that's your friend down the block, or do you really call the ones on duty who are going to make a full report?
Right.
You know, and that does happen. And the officers use the resources that they have. You know, I am a cop. Let me go down and see what's going on. Then it's not documented.
Right. So that no
So
one
they go
knows
to
the
court.
thing.
It's like, well, Officer so-and-so came, but was it documented? So that's a whole big thing too. Not that they're not trying to do their best. They do. You know, they've got very strenuous jobs. We all know that. And like I said, in Roanoke, by the crime rate going down, it's down by 4%, and then the DV rates are going up. We have to stop and ask ourselves, you know, what's going on?
What's going on? So what do you feel maybe some of the reasons for this? I know we talked about it might be people more people reporting, but I mean, is there a reason for that? Why people?
I do think there's better education that's out there now, more tools that we have available to us, more resources. We have people who are now realizing that mental illness does play a part of domestic violence, and they're no longer in the shadows of being ashamed that they have something going on, and they're reaching out for that help.
Right.
We always say that on the show. It is nothing to be ashamed of when you have a mental illness going on or a past history of abuse. We want to help stop that cycle for the next generation and not keep this going. So, you know, talking about it to people who are allied professionals such as ourselves and, you know, the Piedmont Community Centers and other people throughout the community, it does help them get back in tune with the people they need to talk to and deal with their issues.
Right.
You know, a lot of people with mental illness can have a normal life. They just have to find the right medications and the right people to support
And
them.
the right support team.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. What about minorities? Do you think they play an issue in this higher crime? I mean, not higher crime rate, but higher reports of domestic violence crimes. Do you think they play a part in it?
Absolutely, and I think in our area, hate to say dominant, but as far as minorities goes, Hispanic population, which is growing every day here in Henry County, Martinsville, and Patrick County as well, which is great. But in the beginning, their resources were very limited. They didn't
Right.
know where to go to. They didn't know who to seek out for services. And of course, there was always somebody saying, you know, if you report this, there's a possibility you're going to be deported.
Right.
So what do
That's
they
what I
do?
was gonna say. I think that's a big issue.
It's a big issue. They don't report. But now what happens is the person who's perpetrating the violence is sending the spouse or the husband in to receive services from social services, where they also can get counseling one-on-one.
Right.
Where
And
they're
some of this
alone.
violence is coming out.
Exactly. So they're in the loan talking to them. They're like, you know, well, this is happening, but I don't want to be deported. And then all of a sudden they have someone with all this information saying, oh no, you won't be.
Right. You're a
You won't
victim.
be. You're a
gonna be
victim.
treated
It's
out like a
okay.
victim.
You are a victim, and while you're here, you have a right to the same revenues of support and legal advice just like anyone else does.
Right.
So by them knowing that now and getting a better understanding of the judicial system, their rights, even if they're not legally supposed to be here, they still have rights under a certain umbrella. And we're going to talk about that in one of our shows too, VAWA laws. Which
What's
is
that?
the Virginia Laws for Women. It's a whole show itself, Jesse.
Almost-
It's a
almost thanks for
but it helps minorities and, you know, people who are seeking asylum and different things like that to know that that's not our main job here, is to send you back to wherever you were coming
Right, and there are a lot of agencies I know that are coming out that are based for people
Most
that are in those
definitely.
situations
Most
that can help. I mean, confidentiality is a big thing. That doesn't mean
Oh,
because
yeah.
something's going on with you, you're
from. We don't
gonna
make
get
send you back. We're going to call ISIS
Right.
and have them come out, ship you off. But
TV, like I said,
TV.
ruins that for a lot
and
of
it's
people.
also from, you know, the dominant person telling them that. You know, they're constantly
Right,
feeding
exactly.
that to them. And then anything you hear enough becomes a truth, regardless if it is or not. You know, it becomes your truth and their truth. It becomes your secret and their secret. It becomes a family secret. So now the children are also suffering silence.
It's the family secret. I think
Yeah.
minorities plays a big part in this increase because they
They
are
really
feeling
do.
more comfortable with, like you said, the judicial system and the law enforcement. They're not looking at these individuals as bad guys. They're looking at them, they're here to help me.
Exactly.
And, I mean, and sometimes maybe in their other countries
or
or wherever they live
nationalities,
at, maybe
yes.
stuff like that was appropriate or was
Exactly.
accepted, and it's not right. And they
Right.
come here, it's not accepted. So
Right.
hopefully that is helping.
I really
that.
think it isn't, and I also think that we have a lot of agencies that are doing trainings with allied professionals throughout the area that we're a part of, and I have to give, once again, say thanks to all of our police officers who go out to these things and support us in these things, and
because they're going to get the same training. I mean, I know I've been to many trainings with other law enforcement.
Exactly. You know, Lane Perry, Mike Rogers is there. I mean, they're the head guys, but they're there. You know, just yesterday we had something at Patrick Henry, and I think it was a drug enforcement type thing, and Hay and Chill was there, and you know, Lane Perry was right there. He was at one of the tables, and he was supporting, you know, listening and hearing what the kids had to say about who they can feel are positive supporters in the area. You know, who can they go to? And in the beginning, it was sad because a lot of kids said, we don't have anyone to go to.
Right.
But we want to change that because we want them to know we have a 24-hour hotline. They do not have to give their name. They can call us at any time about just about any subject, just as much. You know, we're all trained in these things, and especially suicide prevention, and they're thinking about using drugs and the effect they may have. Give us a call. We're not drug professionals, but we can at least put them in the right direction, and tell them, you know, how harmful it could be for them and things like that. So with our police department being better educated with our minorities and telling them, you know, hey, we're not here to lock you up or him up or send him back to wherever or you back to whatever.
I would make these families healthier and safer for
keep them together.
everyone.
We're all about keeping families together and letting them stay here in the right way. You know, getting them legalized or whatever it may be. But if they're suffering with all these secrets and silence, it's never going to change.
And it's going to continue to grow. The cycle is going to continue to grow because the children aren't going to understand it's a problem. So in turn, we see a lot of that. It's a learned behavior. So.
It really is. And it just goes on from one generation to the next. A lot of us go to church where we go to church as because what our parents did.
Right.
Not because that we chose to do. It's just something we've done in our lives.
I cook my food this way because
Mama did it.
You know?
I like how it is.
Right.
You don't send that back because Mama did. You know, just, we do those things, you know.
Don't know why you don't do it, but
don't
you don't
know why
do it.
you don't do it. And someone will ask you, like, well, why? Well, I never really thought about why I didn't do that or why I do that.
Wasn't supposed to.
It's so good, you know?
If you grow up in homes like this and it's never learned or taught to you that this is not the proper way of living, this is not the proper way of how a family is supposed to be or whatnot.
Right, or bond.
You never know.
Exactly.
I mean, and they grow up and then, which I know we'll get into this another show, but bullying plays a big part in that.
Oh,
and especially with the kids not being able to, you know, interpret what's right and what's wrong with what they're going through. So.
And then the anxieties of seeing peers, you know, go home and their mom and dad's hugging them and kissing them and, you know, they're watching a video game or whatever, they have that support, and this child goes home and doesn't see that, of course they'll come back the next day and they may be angry.
Right.
Because they don't know what to think. You know, why am I not receiving that same type of love or affection that little Johnny's getting at his house? So that creates a lot of the bullying situation as well. You know, so those are, we're definitely going to get into the bullying.
Yeah, we've got a whole show about that. We got a real special guest we'll bring on the show that day to help with that. Now, I know that some of these other communities, like you were mentioning Alexandria and Roanoke and Fairfax County and stuff like that, I know they have, I don't know, what's the word for it?
Like, fatality teams?
Yeah, fatality teams. Yeah. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that. I don't even know what that is. So what is that? I mean,
it's a domestic fatality review team. And it's really big in like the larger areas. And we're in the infancy stage of trying to develop something here, maybe, you know, just dabbling in it. It is very important. In Norfolk, we do a lot of training in Norfolk. I go quite a bit for my training in Norfolk.
Favorite place
That's like my favorite spot to go. I just love the water side.
It's the water. I don't know about the train.
Once again, there we go. Grew up on the water with my dad and my family. I'm a water baby. I love it. Just being in Norfolk, the atmosphere there, I just love it. So when I go to training, I'm just all about embracing everything they're bringing to the table because I just want to take it all. But Norfolk, Virginia has a very detailed fatality review team. And what they do is actually you have people who do nothing more than gather information about deaths from domestic violence.
Wow.
It's not from car crashes, it's not from home fires, things of that nature. It is strictly for domestic violence, people who have passed because of it. And what they do is they compile a whole list of things. And I actually brought one. It's a really thick packet, if you can kind of see that, of information. And it runs from 2005 to 2008, but the report came out in 2012. So it's not like an overnight thing. They sit and just gather a few names of people who, you know, perished at the hands of their loved ones. It is a very detailed report, and it goes into, you know, how did it happen? What could have been prevented?
So it's like really detailed and goes over
very detailed. I'm talking about we have information from the coroner's reports. We get information from the local judicial system who plays a part in it. The Commonwealth attorneys there play a part in it. The sheriff's department. It is just a whole gamut of people who come together. All the legal assistants, the colleges, everyone who can bring something to the table. And a lot of the people who actually are on this board, they go out with the officers.
Let's see, does our community have one of these going right now?
We don't
or
yet.
anything?
We're in the infancy stages of it. We're all going to come to the table, hopefully, and kind of see, you know, what will this prove? What is this
Well, I
for?
think for a long time, I mean, you know, not pointing fingers at anyone in particular at all, but I think our community as a whole has just not thought that this was a problem in our community.
Right.
And, I mean,
Just
I
like
know that
gaming.
it's been a problem
Long
my whole
time.
life, but
Right.
I know in some people, if you've never been in it or you don't know your
Doesn't
family member
affect
wasn't going through it or whatnot, then you didn't think it was going on. Oh, that's
Right.
a TV thing, or that's a big city thing.
Oh,
or
that's in Norfolk or
yeah,
Richmond.
or somewhere else, but it's been going on here forever.
time.
And I mean, would our community benefit from something like that?
Most
do you think?
definitely, most definitely. I mean, it would help us on the forefront of helping families who are trying to rebuild their lives after someone has, you know, died at the hands of a loved one.
I mean, I know we've had a lot of it. I mean, I know I
We've
can
had
name a
lot
couple of them off.
Reeves Road, big one.
Right,
You know, the
a couple
family.
years ago. And
Exactly. We have quite a few of them. There's some still, you know, actually in the making of still going through legal processes of wondering
Right.
what actually played out here. And that's what this does.
I know there's that big thing on TV right now. I know this is unrelated, but to our area, but the football player. I mean, I know that's
Exactly.
a big thing. Every time I turn the TV on, it's all I see is,
Exactly.
you know, that
And you hear people say, well,
situation.
he had everything. He had his money, and he
You
was
don't
a,
know what's going on in people's minds.
behind
You
their
don't-
mind.
right,
Exactly, behind those
You don't know what
doors.
they're going through.
The demons in a man's mind are real. I always tell people that. You don't ever discount it. You never, oh, there's nothing wrong with them. They're faking. You don't know that.
Right.
We don't know that. We don't know what's going on
You
there.
don't know what happened with that family. You don't know what goes
Exactly.
on. I mean, this man, like you said, he had it all. He had
Everyone
millions
says
of
that.
dollars or whatever
he had it all.
but that,
But what he didn't have was inner peace.
right.
He didn't have that
There was some
sense.
security missing somewhere in
Something
there.
was missing. And it's sad that to bring attention to his issue, someone had to die,
Right.
which is unfortunate. And we
Three-month-old
don't want
baby
that.
without a parent.
Exactly.
Either parent.
Either parent. And they're gone for something that, I hate to say, could have been avoided because we don't really know. Because if they're really, their mind is set to do it, or do something like that, just so we all know that we're going to have some fatalities.
Right.
That's another reason why this is a very important tool. This report gives you their mission statement, what they're there for. Is to identify and address the systematic gaps and barriers of people in domestic abuse. Because we
Right.
also know this could lead to suicide.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. A lot of people feel like they can't get out of the situation. That's the only way out.
That's the only way out.
Take my own life so I don't have to be in this
Or you have a
anymore. And-
mother who lost her son and her daughter-in-law. Now she's left behind to deal with that. She can't cope. So what do? I'm just going to cash out too, because she doesn't have that support system. And thank goodness, Chad Martin and PCS over here, we have a, I don't want to say private, but there is a survivors group.
Right,
For people
yeah,
who are
suicide
surviving.
survivors group.
Exactly.
I
But
read about that. That's really great.
it's very important to have.
Because we have, like, what, the third highest
Oh my
suicide
gosh.
rate in the state of Virginia, which
Very
is
high.
extreme for a small county when you're thinking, you know, Roanoke, Richmond,
Right, the
said, all
bigger
these
places, exactly.
bigger places. So.
People don't realize how, you know, it's a lot here, but when it's not in your own backyard, it's kind of hard to see the forest from the trees.
Right,
And that's why we
exactly.
want to bring as much attention as possible. It's not a pointing finger thing. It's not happening in your neighborhood or it happened in mine because we're more affluent than your neighborhood. It's prone in yours. Has no color,
No.
has no
definitely.
races,
It goes
has
on
no
everywhere.
economic.
I mean, I take calls from
Doctors,
type,
we
right, I
get,
was
we
gonna
get
say
dentists
every
and
type
lawyers, we
of,
get, exactly,
a group.
exactly. It's just the way they report it.
Right.
You know, we have people who have no choice but to come to us, and they do
Something
have
I've
resources.
seen a lot of is a lot of, and I don't know if this has anything to do with just the community coming together, but I've seen a lot of people calling on behalf of someone, which is great. I mean, just call and get the information. If you don't want
Oh, yeah.
to call yourself, call in and get the information to pass on to a friend. I mean, that's wonderful. That's good.
And we also know
Might
that
save a
sometimes
life.
when they say that, it could be them.
Right. It
But
could
we
be
don't-
them. Yeah,
but we don't care.
understand that
We just
definitely.
want that information given out. If it means you playing like you're the third party or you're Alan from down the street, be Alan from down the street and let me give you as much information as I can possibly give you to protect you, your family, another loved one, whomever it may be.
Right.
We don't care. We're not here for the pat you on the back.
No,
That's
no,
not our
no,
job at
no,
all.
no,
We want
just
to save
wanna
lives.
Help, yeah, save
Healthy
a life and
families
bring a
save
family
lives.
together.
And you know, once again, when we're talking about minorities and things of that nature, a lot of them were dying because they didn't have anywhere to go. And this fatality review, it documents all of that. You know, who was the person? You know, what was their connection to this area? How did they even end up here? Because
Wow.
once again, we know that people bring people in to where they can do isolation and control.
Right.
They have no family here whatsoever,
So
and
they
they bring them
here.
out here.
Yeah.
Right. They
I've
look
seen
for
that. That's all I'm always wondering, like, what are you doing here from
How did
Texas?
you get
Or what
here?
are you doing here from
Exactly.
New York? What
And
are
they'll
you
tell
coming
you,
to
well,
Martinsville for?
my husband's
Had family.
It's never
I hear
they
that all
had
the time.
family, or it's my other half had family here. And, you know, we kind of researched it, and we thought we'd come here and they're constantly giving eye contact to the person. Red flags for us.
Right.
The average person might look like, oh, well, that's really neat. I would never thought to come here. But we all know, with a failing economy, this is not the ideal place to say, I'm going to reload to
Exactly
Martinsville
not.
without a job
Without a
and 3
job.
kids.
Right.
So we're trained.
We can
to
talk
look
about
for-
this forever, I
All
know.
day. You know, we're trained for those red flags. But wrapping it up. But anyway, we're hoping to get this going in our area.
I think it'd be a great thing. I mean, just to have a team of people that really
come
were
together,
focused on that, and then maybe the community would see how big of a problem this really is.
Just like gangs. We thought for a long time gangs didn't exist here, but we have a whole gang task force now.
Right, exactly.
The county's
so
great.
It obviously is a problem, and this is definitely a problem, and hopefully that can come to our community and
we just keep
open some eyes.
Exactly, a lot of eyes, Jesse.
All right, we got to take a little break because we do have a coworker, a wonderful coworker that works with us. She wants to share a few things, so when we come back, we're going to bring her on. So we'll be right back.
At Memorial Hospital, we know something about miracles. We see them happen in healthcare every day. Diseases are conquered, patients are healed, and new generations of our community are born. While we may see marvels of technology and wondrous advances in medicine, Memorial Hospital cannot forget the true miracles are the dedicated people whose care and commitment to service excellence make a difference in the lives of Martinsville, Henry County residents, and in our neighboring communities, one patient at a time.
Tommy Houston, known for award-winning ribs on the Food Network, now has slow smoked chicken wings, the perfect side dish for any party or family event. Try the new barbecue nachos, crisp chips, smothered in barbecue, and all the extras. Pigs R Us and Checker Pig, two great locations, same great food. Wake up with the Sirloin House in Martinsville. A delicious morning breakfast buffet is a great way to start your day. Ham, eggs, bacon, just like home cooking. Lunch and dinner specials, and conveniently located on Commonwealth Boulevard. Wake up with the Sirloin House in Martinsville.
Hello, I'm Creed Taylor with Taylor's Tax and Financial Center. We're here to professionally serve you. We are proven, prompt, professional, and confidential. We provide accounting services, expert income tax preparation, retirement, and financial services. Come see us at Taylor's Tax and Financial Center, 15 Henry Street, Martinsville, Virginia. We're here to professionally serve you.
Are you looking for a quality and trustworthy jewelry repair service? Well, look no further. Eggleston's Jewelry Repair has been serving the Martinsville, Henry County area for nearly 22 years. We specialize in ring sizing, chain repair, stone setting, engraving, watch batteries, and band repair. Eggleston's Jewelry Repair also wants to buy your unwanted, broken, and outdated 10-carat and 14-carat scrap gold jewelry. Eggleston's Jewelry Repair. Come and see us.
Welcome back. Now, we got to be a little quick now. We've been really got into this subject.
A lot of information.
Now, we brought on Mitzi Marsh. She is our children's case manager at the shelter and also our prevention coordinator in the schools and does all these wonderful programs in the schools. And but she had a few things she wanted to share with us today and with y'all. So go ahead, girl.
Yeah. I just wanted to let everybody know that we're having a Christmas party for the children at the shelter, but not just the children that we have right now. We're having one for all the children that have been here all year long because the first year of moving out, of being homeless and moving out on your own is the hardest year to get back on your feet. So we just kind of want to help them at Christmas, get the kids something that they'll like. And I do have a list of some of the stuff that the kids have asked for. We've been asked for Legos from like 6 or 7 kids. Xbox games, PlayStation 3 games, some Hot Wheels. I mean, they're not asking for serious stuff. Makeup, fingernail polish, pocketbooks, and those don't even have to be like pocketbooks. They don't have to be brand new. They don't know. I mean,
Right.
just anything you have sitting around.
These children, I mean, I remember from the Christmas party last year, these kids were happy opening a present, period.
They were.
And they were like, Santa Claus did find us. I mean, I remember that was a
And he
really
was
touchy
there.
day. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Santa Claus was
Santa
there.
Claus was there. We got to take pictures with him, and he actually handed them the gift that we had gotten, and it was really great. So, you know, and then some toddler learning toys, just anything that children need. I mean,
Right.
you know,
I mean, we have
that's
children from all
fun.
ages,
You
so-
know, that's fun for Christmas because they'll get clothes and they'll get stuff like that, but just something fun to get them.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. I know we got to wrap it up, but I did want to mention one thing. I know we were talking about Chad Martin. I don't want to go wrong and say what his title is in the community, but I know he's a wonderful person that is really trying to bring the community together about a lot of different things. I know one thing is hunger. He did put up a public service announcement on Facebook, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because we don't have time for that, but he is doing a city and county canned food drive. There are boxes at so many locations. I'll give a few of these out. I know at the Blue Ridge Library, the YMCA, the Martinsville Hospital, all the SunTrust banks, all the BB&T banks, Piedmont Community Services, the Henry County Administration Building, the Henry County Sheriff's Department, the Martinsville Municipal Building, Doug's Limousine Shop, Hugo's, Chick-fil-A, Community Fellowship Church, Fidelity Bank, Martinsville Middle School. I know there's so many people coming on board and jumping on board with this, and I mean, I know everywhere I go there's a box there.
Yeah.
But what this is going to do is they are going to divide all the canned foods amongst Grace Network, Community Storehouse, Citizens Against Family Violence, and Salvation Army. And I know he put on here that there is a 13% food insecurity rate in Martinsville, which means that 1,300 people in the city, just the city alone, who don't know if they will eat, if they will be able to eat on a weekly basis. And it says Henry County has an even higher insecurity rate. So he did put on here, thank you for becoming a local hero by helping to end hunger. And as working together as a community, I mean, 2 cans of food, you know,
Will help out.
will help out, you know, 1 can of food. I mean, and there's so many different places, just about anywhere you go in the Martinsville, Henry County area. I know the Patrick Henry Community Colleges jumped on board too, and there's so many places. I know that you can look him up on Facebook, and he does a lot of things in the community. He did a community ball league and donated food to our shelter then, and he's been a big help. And we'll have him on the show the next couple weeks, hopefully, to help talk about, like you said, his personal experience with it, and
Yes.
And just his great efforts to bring the community together to provide food for these families.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to donate for our Christmas party or canned food and they didn't catch any of that, they can call the number at the bottom of the screen,
Right, definitely.
632-8701. Wow, I almost forgot a number.
And they
But
can
call
stay
the
anonymous.
number. Yeah, stay anonymous, but we can give them more information. I know because we're Russian, but we have all the list of everything we need, and so they can get more
Right.
information there.
And for the next couple of weeks, we'll keep repeating this because, I mean, don't feel that if we said that we want, you know, Xbox games, that a board game wouldn't work. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
these kids
Puzzles.
have been
mean,
without, and I mean, I know
They're
that
grateful.
from some of the little kids opened up a little car last year and were the happiest kids ever, and just to see that smile on their face
Yeah,
will
it
melt
made
the
us
heart.
cry.
And it did.
Yeah.
I know, I cried a little times. But it's great. So community's really coming together. Like to thank the Martinsville and Henry County area, period, because they're the ones joining together as a whole to make this event for Chad happen. And I know there's people behind him too, and I'm sorry if I left you out. I don't know the whole details. I
We'll
just
have
know
more to
that.
come.
Yeah, we'll have more details on it. I just did print this off because I wanted to share that and thank the community and all these places that are coming together to do this.
Yes.
So. All right, so we got to get out of here, guys. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 1:30 live, 8:30 Tuesday night, and Saturday afternoon. So stay safe. We'll see you then. Stay tuned.